What's up, guys? Tambo here with your weekly core report. It's Thanksgiving week, and we've got plenty of members giving thanks for their big hits. Let's get to the winners. Our NHL content has been on fire lately. Nadesify led the way with his recent core helping him hit for over 1K. Mangone's core helped MComDog42 win 2K in NHL, and M. Levangie used the NHL playbook and premium Discord chat to ship for $20,000. In PGA, Alex used our free weekly PGA show to hit for 1K, while Jaywalkin shipped for $10,000. Just a reminder that a Run Pure Sports membership gets you all sports for one price, including our premium World Cup content. And for Thanksgiving week, we've got a special deal to get you on board. For a limited time only, sign up for a Run Pure Sports membership using the promo code TURKEY50 and knock 50% off your first payment on a monthly subscription. This includes SaberSim packages. You can't beat this deal, so make sure to sign up now. Our NBA and NFL content stayed hot this week. Reminder to sign up to our YouTube page to access all of our great free content streamed daily. In the NBA streets, Magic Muffin hit for 2K, while our guy Mangone continued to dominate Saturday NBA slates with a 9K winner. In NFL, I shipped 2 King of the Beach final seats, along with K. Fallick, who landed one too. RPS member DGAS33 will be joining us in San Diego after securing a seat of her own. Brandon Sports hit for 3K in NFL. Uncle Dunkle joined in with a 14K win. Statler shipped for 17K in NFL Showdown, and JSU joined him with a 17K Showdown win too. Congrats again to all our winners. If you want to be featured in our core report, drop your winning lineup in our Members Never Win channel in our premium Discord. If you're not a member, join now. You won't find a better value with all sports included for one low price. Once again, use the promo code TURKEY50 to knock 50% off your first payment on a monthly subscription. SaberSim add-on plans qualify for the discount too, so take advantage for a limited time while this deal lasts. While you're watching, hit that like button now. Remember, if you're not winning with us, you're watching us win. Until next time, let's keep running pure. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka Toe Tag and Tambo, and we're back. Happy Thanksgiving to, of course, all my American friends. Usually JSU hosting this one, saying I'm his favorite Canadian. You guys are all my favorite Americans, and I'm excited to be here on this holiday, Thanksgiving Eve, with you. Excited to be here with my guys, Big T, JSU. Do us a favor on the way in. If you're just joining us, if you've been waiting, hit that like button, get this started. We're going to go for a big likes number tonight. We'll come up with it shortly, but it's going to be a fun one. Talking the 3-game slate, as always. Love this slate every single year. Big T, I'm going to start with you, man. What's going on? You're a busy man today. Lots of shows.
Yeah, none more important than this one, though. We got the Thanksgiving slate, all the big prize pools, 3 showdowns tomorrow. Yeah, everyone loves the Thanksgiving slate. Friggin' love it every single year. It's always very similar slate, honestly. These days, though, we get a couple milli makers. We get massive prize pools all day. Sit around, eat food, drink, root on games. My dream day. We even got a little World Cup before the football starts. Just a great, great day. So I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I like that. And I know the food comes into question. So JSC, I'll bring you in. Do you got any food takes to kick us off? How you doing, man? What's going on?
That is the worst way to bring me in, my friend. Let me tell you right now. I'll give you an example real quick, but I don't think people want my food takes on Turkey Day or on any day for that matter. I just don't think people are going to be in for it. You should have went to yourself or Tony for food takes.
You know,
people
I
would
go
probably
to
be
you.
into
This
it.
is the man who doesn't like pizza, so I had to go to you and see what's your. Maybe it switches for Thanksgiving.
Well,
I don't know.
You don't eat pizza for Thanksgiving, though, Tambo. Like,
I know.
no one's eating pizza. So,
but do you enjoy the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and the gravy?
I do. I like the white turkey meat. Yeah, I do. And I like that. I like potatoes. So yes, any type of potatoes, mashed, sweet, whatever they are, I'm in for potatoes. And yeah, my dad makes rice pilaf, homemade rice pilaf, which is very, very good. If you like rice pilaf, and then Yeah, normally there's like a roast beef or something like that. But yeah, I eat most of that stuff. I don't eat gravy though, and people make fun of me for that, but I don't like gravy. Just not a fan of it. And yeah, that should be enough for my food takes.
Yeah, that's good for your food takes. No, with the white meat though, a lot of times you need that gravy. It's a little bit dry. Big T, any food takes over there? White or dark meat for the turkey?
No, definitely dark. I freaking hate white turkey. Dry.
Oh,
if I eat it dry, like I gotta use ketchup or something. I mean, dry
ketchup
on
turkey.
I'd puke before I eat dry turkey. Like
you put ketchup on your turkey? What are you, an animal?
I mean, I'd go lick muffin before I'd eat dry turkey.
Oh, that's something you don't know about Big T, but now you just found out. He gave you another secret there. He doesn't go downtown, so that's good to know.
I mean, you can't go down. Every once in a while, a couple times a year, you go down there, but it's not a regular ritual. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, man. You know what is a ritual is the Thanksgiving slate, having the same teams on it. Almost always JSU. No Stafford this year, so I'm not sure what you're going to do there, but we've got some other quarterbacks to talk about here. Before we get in, talk about these quarterbacks, JSU, give me an overview of the slate, what you're seeing, any tips, tricks, strategies, stuff you've got for the smaller slates, because I know Big T will talk some stuff after. We were talking pre-show, but people seem to struggle a little bit with these 3-gamers. You got any thoughts there before we get into the actual plays?
Tambo, first of all, I can't be cussing too much on these free shows, so don't be bringing up no damn Matt Stafford, all right? We don't need to bring it up.
Can't be cussing as he says damn in the freaking
That was
video.
years. Oh, damn. Seriously? Damn is a cuss?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Well,
a cuss word is what if your kid's in the classroom, they can't say it. If Grayson's in the classroom,
damn.
Are you kidding me? Damn, you can't say damn. I mean, come on, potty mouth.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, no, that can't be real.
Okay, Grayson's in the classroom and he's like, God damn it.
Chat.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Wait,
how would he be able to say
it is different. That's different.
If they say God,
damn.
then it's
what? Chat, I need a ruling on this. Big
it's
T
not even
has
needed
to be
a ruling.
Here.
It's a freaking cuss word. Get out of here.
Damn is not a cuss word. If that's a cuss word, then I'm
This
screwed.
is worse than his food takes.
No, it's not. Tambo, okay, I need at least someone else on the panel to give their take on this. You can't just sit there, mum the word. You got to give a take.
Just two different contexts. Big T saying the obvious. If my daughter's in school saying, give me the damn pencil or something like that, you're gonna get in trouble for that. That's a cuss word. If you're just saying that, I thought you were going to drop an F-bomb and then you did anyway. So we're already off the rails.
And then you already did anyways.
I said damn as in damn. I didn't say it like damn you or goddamn. Like I didn't say any of those things. I said damn, just damn. And he said it's a cuss word. It's not a cuss
word. It doesn't matter how you say it. Damn,
that's soft, Tony. You know what that is? That's friggin' soft. That's what I say.
Friggin'.
Damn soft.
Now he said friggin'.
At least we got him to tone it down a little bit for Thanksgiving. He said freaking instead of F-bombs.
I'm trying to hold back right now. You brought up Stafford earlier. Now Tambo's bringing it up just to ruffle my feathers before we get on here. I'm not letting you ruffle my feathers. It's Thanksgiving or almost Thanksgiving. It's going to be mellow, calm JSU. But damn is not a cuss word. That's
what
terrible.
Are you talking
That's a terrible
about?
take. That's terrible.
There's literally
Stafford.
How many people are watching? Tambo, how many are watching? 262. All 262 are against JSU.
Timeout. Uncle T, you confirmed you cannot give an opinion on this, sir. You're still doubtful for Thanksgiving. I mean, come on, man.
No, he's not doubtful. The JSU had got moved. He's now out for Thanksgiving.
Oh, you're OUT out?
Yeah.
No, you can't give takes. Uncle T, you need to sit back. I hope you feel better, but you need to sit back. You need to take your L. You can't miss Thanksgiving.
No, Kevin Clunan, too. I don't say darn it. I say damn, too, but I admit it's a cuss word.
Yeah, Matthew Jones is JSU from MA. I am from Mass, yes.
Big T, Uncle T got a game on Sunday. Terry McBride. Him and Kyler are going to go hit the field, remember?
Yeah, Terry McBride.
Who said that day? Terry McBride. Core play of the day.
Our boy Locke said it.
Yeah, JSU, give me your thoughts. So, man, you'll come up with a new Matthew Stafford here at some point.
Yeah.
So you can tell us what you think of this slate. First off, 3 games, some strategy, what you see with how the slate is shaping up, and then we'll dive into the actual position by position like we always do.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to a lot of the Thanksgiving slates, at least I can remember in recent years, where you got one game, mainly a quarterback where everyone's going to want to play. You got Josh Allen. He's going to be like, probably in the 40% ownership wise. and everyone's going to want to stack that first game. And normally we get this, right? We normally get like one good DFS game and then like 2 games, one that's mediocre and then one that's just bad. But on this slate, it's almost like we get 2 that are almost just bad and one that's, technically really good, but everyone's going to go to that side. And I think it's just different ways of wanting to attack it. Like I remember last year, and I was kind of pissed at it, but like building in ways that just thinking of ways of building where no one's going to do it. Everyone stacks games. Everyone wants run backs. I remember last year, whatever the game was that was popular, a lot of the top teams I remember had that one side without any run backs. Some of the run backs that were popular busted. I think Swift got injured in one of them, but like, and then they had a stack of another team completely without a run back. And it was just different ways of constructing builds where most people have these common rules in main slate DFS where there's a lot of games. But in 3-game slates, on these shorter slates, you have to find ways to be different. And that is definitely one idea of a way, if you know a game's going to be popular, kind of cut it in half and do that with all 3 games. I'm not saying all 3 games need to be blowouts, but it could happen. You never know. You just got to do more of like the what ifs and play it that way. But I think a lot of people just build incorrectly on this slate. They want to build like it's a main slate and use the same rules. And I think you want to come away from those general rules that we all use on main slates and find different rules, things that'll make you different.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. I mean, some of the common ones, leaving the salary on the table, the setup of actually using guys against your defense, which you might not do on a main slate in most cases. But I'll bring it over to you, Big T. Give me your thoughts as well. We talked previous to the show, like before the show, about some of the stuff with the 3-game slates and what people do differently, or maybe where you see an edge. What's your thoughts coming into this one?
Yeah, everyone that knows me knows I love the showdown slates, these short slates. I think I'm way better at short slates than big slates. I'm not a huge fan of massive slates with tons of plays. Part of the reason is these 2-3-gamers, showdowns, you can take stands and you can play just weird non-optimal plays that don't work as well on full slates. I mean, you can take stabs on, I don't know, as we go through it, we'll go through some guys, but the Damian Harris's, the James Cooks, the guys that wouldn't be near as good of plays on full slates, you can take stabs because when you're right, you don't need that much other stuff to happen. Whereas on a full slate, say I play Damian Harris, say he gets 18, which isn't like that great, but it's good. It'd be massive tomorrow. Full slate, it might not even get me to the winner. So very, very different landscape. I think I'm better, honestly, at taking stabs. I'm not as good as some of the people just click and optimize, run the optimal plays. I don't like to do that. So I love these slates, which means Thanksgiving is awesome. Another thing that's great about it, 3 different times. So you can see how your early guys do. Maybe you pivot chalky, maybe you pivot contrarian. The last 2 time slots, you can really get creative with that. Like say you crush the early game, maybe you hit a contrarian play out of the gate. Then you can pivot a little chalkier with the rest of the day and stuff. There's just so many ways you can attack it. Whereas a full slate, you just really can't get that creative. Sure, there's some stuff we can do like we talk about on all the shows, but 3-gamer, millie up top, a couple contests, massive stuff across the industry and showdowns. We can get very, very creative, take some nice stands, fade some stuff. I love these slates.
Yeah, one thing you said there too that stands out to me, and JSU, you hinted at it a little bit as well, but I find this is the biggest mistake that's made. Of course, if you find it, then good for you. But what I'm going to say is people looking for the diamond in the rough, they're always like, oh, but if this happens and then that happens, then this guy comes in, boom, I hit the 1% guy. Of course, if that happens, that's great. But it's what we always say and what we always look at on our review shows that we do here. Sometimes I remember like last year, the year before, it was simple as the defense against the quarterback, set it off and let everything else fit, or similar stack of like a 5-3 with a defense with $3,000 on the table. Like it didn't really do anything that was that crazy. It was just the setup of it. Maybe it's Josh Allen with a running back, a tight end, no pass catcher, no Diggs or Knox, for example, or sorry, Diggs or Davis, for example, little things like that, where you can just find ways to be different but not really be finding this 1% play that you have to pray gets a long bomb for a touchdown or gets more snaps than they usually do, so on and so forth, or needing an injury almost in some cases. So I don't know. For me, it's more just setting it up that way. Big T brought up a key point, late swap, definitely a major factor. If you're playing 150, you're going to have to be sitting around pretty much, or at least focusing on it more game by game as it goes on. If you just got a few hand builds, you can just look at it and see what your edits are after how you do in the first couple of games. But we've had some crazy scenarios these past few years. Big T, one quick question before we dive into it. Position by position or game by game? It's always the question.
Yeah, honestly, on the shorter slates, I think you just got to go position by position for the most part.
Yeah,
we could go game by game, but I don't know. I think it separates it more to go position by position.
I think the game flow will come into it anyway. JSU, would you agree? We'll go position by position, and then
Tambo better. I know one thing. Tambo better have a drink. I mean, JSU doesn't drink.
Oh.
I mean, Tambo, we need a drink here. JSU's got his water. I got my drink. You're the tiebreaker. I mean, this is going to decide how good we do tomorrow.
Tony, how good do you know me right now? Seriously, like, does anyone talk to me outside of maybe my wife more than you on a daily basis? And you're saying I got water in my hands right now?
Water and a coffee.
I got coffee in my hands right now. Come on,
you got like a pebble of juice in there. Like, look, there's nothing left.
Got to milk the last few bits. Don't worry, I got another one right here.
Well,
I got another one.
Either way, so JSU's got coffee. Tambo's the tiebreaker. What do we got, Tambo? Oh my God!
You know what it is, Big T?
It's going to be a bad day tomorrow.
No, not at all. It's Nan. It's no alcohol November. I'm going strong. 23 days, so I can't break it now. I'm doing good. So
no
we gotta stick to
alcohol November.
Yeah, man. It's a new setup.
Who doesn't drink for Thanksgiving?
Well, it's American Thanksgiving. It's not Canadian Thanksgiving.
No football though. It's football day. Thanksgiving.
Well, every weekend has football. I've been having a great month, by the way, so it's going just fine. I'll take it. I'm excited for tomorrow's slate. The drinks will be back on
Tambo,
December 1st.
Can I just say something real quick?
Of course, yeah.
If I said that,
I want JSU to be the tiebreaker back the other way now. JSU, go get a drink.
Tony
you get us over
Tony
the hump.
would literally hammer me if I said that right now. Tambo, you just get a little slap on the wrist.
I just
Tony gives a little.
Back and
Tony
said
gives
JSU,
a little.
JSU can get us over the top right now by getting the job done.
I can't break from it, man. You got to go.
I could go get a drink.
Yeah, you only need one. I don't need like 10. I want one just to get us over the top.
Before I have one, Mangone in the chat telling me that I need to hit a code. I'm not the host, Mangone. Don't come at me.
He's still mad about my storytelling the other day. That's all it is.
Oh, he's sensitive about Tambo. I see that.
Karen Mangone is working on his script for tomorrow. He's in the mirror right now talking to it.
Karen Mangone.
We'll see.
Oh God! Good luck, Mangone. All right, I was wondering why he was coming at me with that. I didn't know, but
but hey, anybody out there watching right now, got almost 400 in here now. Hit the like button on the way in. If you do want a code, the code is Turkey50. We don't need the whole spiel. You just need to know this. It ends on Sunday. That's it. No questions asked. We get asked all the time for a code. It's 50% off any monthly plan, right up to including the Saver Sim package. If you want to get the optimizer and get in there with us that way, you can do that as well. But it's 50% off everything, all sports, the same price. Get in the premium Discord, hop in with us. And that's going to be where all of our premium content for tomorrow's slate. Big T is doing all 3 showdown slates with his player pools. We've all got our cores up for our favorite plays. You can stack them together, use the playbook to find all the extras there to just build it out. And then if you're unsure of your final spots or have questions, you just go in the Discord to the NFL channel, ask away, and somebody will help you talk you through it. So it's a great spot to be. If you've ever wanted to get in, now is the time. The code goes away on Sunday. So leave it at that. We've got almost 150 likes, almost 400 watching. Let's keep the likes rolling. JSU is going to go get a drink, and I'm going to start with Big T.
I got a question. So I don't have a lot of different choices here. Do I need a specific drink? Just anything? Whatever I got. It's got
to be alcoholic.
It has to be alcohol. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Tambo. The last time this came up, we shipped a Millie. I haven't put the pressure on him in a while. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. He's going to lead to. I mean, Tambo was very proud of his water, so you got to really pick it up here for us.
All right,
I'm proud to stand by what I said I would do.
Tony, wife just confirmed that I talked to you more than I talked to her. She just confirmed it in the chat, which I would just tell people.
Confirm that you're getting a drink to get us over the top here.
Or
Big T, I'll confirm it in a second.
we've been testing JSU on this, or she needs to get you the drink and confirm that you can stay on the show.
Now we're really talking about getting over the hump. I like
you guys
that.
are trying
like
to get the slap right now on the live show. Huh? You guys want to see it live.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Big T, let's do this. Let's hop into it. You and I talked a little pre-show. Josh Allen, how much is too much? I think it is one of those spots. Look, we know he's the highest owned quarterback on the slate. We know he's pushing 50%. There's no secret here or surprise. But do you think that people try and just talk themselves off of a great play for no reason sometimes and just say, oh, let me try out Mac Jones here and give him a spin, or let me try out this guy? Like, it feels like that on these slates. But obviously, Josh Allen, great spot, huge team total. Can't do worse than last week, I hope. I mean, the guy put up 12.5 DraftKings points. So what are your thoughts here on Josh Allen, and then dig into this quarterback position?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is another thing people do wrong about the full slates compared to short slates. In my opinion, almost always these slates come down to raw points at positions like, every position for the most part, but quarterbacks especially, where if Josh Allen's the leading scorer at quarterback, I feel a lot, 90% of the time or so, he's going to be in the winner, not talking about salary, because there's always weird guys that score points. There's studs that don't score. Different things happen on these short slates always. So, I mean, you're talking with Josh Allen, if he gets 25 fantasy points, which isn't like that crazy of a game, it's almost mid-tier game, I would say. Last week was definitely his floor. He's not going to have a game that bad again. But I think the important talk about it would be, what number does he have to get to feel good that he's in the winner? And I guess you could start by just going from the bottom. Mac Jones, I can't do it. I can't click the button. Danny Dimes, he had a good week last week, but going against this Dallas defense that has owned everybody, I just have a hard time, and people are going to play these guys, even if it's 5 to 10% for both of them. Give them a total of 15%, say, from those two. Still 15% not playing Josh Allen and playing those two guys. Then you get to the guys I think will be a little bit slightly higher owned. Cousins and Dak are the two guys that I think should soak up the most besides Josh Allen. I think you can play Dak, but he's only $1,800 cheaper than Josh Allen. Cousins even slightly cheaper than that, but I don't know, like Kirk Cousins isn't going to run at all. New England's going to have a good game plan for him. They get pressure on the quarterback. I just don't see it. I just don't. And I mean, Kirk Cousins at 5,600 on DraftKings, he could end up 20% owned, and I wouldn't be that shocked. I think it'll be less. I'm not saying it'll be 20, but just give him 15%. Let's say 15. So now we're up to 30% already, and we haven't even talked about Dak and Goff. Dak is going to be, everyone plays Dallas, guys. He's going to be the main pivot off of Josh Allen. I'd be stunned if he was less than 20% owned. So all of a sudden, you're already at 50% owned. Let's just say 50. I mean, that means half the field is fading Josh Allen. Let's just assume he's in the winner. I mean, he's going to be in the winner more than half the time for sure, in my opinion. So I don't know. Just if he ends up in the winner, which I think he will, half the field is technically dead to the optimal. And I think that's already an edge. And this is why I like shorter slates. You can really narrow stuff out. And you know what? Say Josh Allen stinks. He gets 18. Dak gets 35. I probably won't win, but you're still narrowing the combinations down. And that's how you get to the top. And that's what we're good at, I think, is getting to the top. Yeah, when we don't get there, sometimes it doesn't go as good. And there's going to be optimal people out there that play all these guys. That's another reason the ownerships end up the way they do. All of these top guys, for the most part, all the optimals, the awesomos, the whistles, these guys that crush the bricks, they're going to play them all. And they're going to play them slightly above or slightly below the field. That's what they do. And it works for them. They're very sharp at it, but it doesn't work as good for me. I'd rather just take stands, go with my reads, and take my chances. Tomorrow, it's Josh Allen for me. The other guy that I would play, though, that will be in my consideration is definitely just Goff in that same game, where I don't like him, but he does save $3K. In my opinion, they're for sure going to be playing from behind. Buffalo's secondary has been a little bit leaky over the last several weeks. So, and you don't need the same performance. Let's go back to the initial thing and say Josh Allen gets 25. I think that's a decent number to give him. If he gets 25, what do I need from Goff? And I think he can get us close to 20. And yeah, originally I think that it will be a point slate, but you still never know. I mean, if you guaranteed me Josh Allen 25 and Goff 20, I'd probably try to beat it. It doesn't mean it'll happen, but that's where I'm at. Allen, Goff. I really don't see myself playing any of the other four.
I like it. The opposite side works. We've seen it. Brissett just did it against them. You know, you can see that happen. And it's like you said, that's where at least you get some savings. 5,200 versus 8,000. You're staying in the same game stack. Someone in the chat, Matt Jones, said, I think Pat Mayo can finally play his Goff. Every week I go on the show. He wants to play Goff. This would be the spot. Yes,
this is this week then if he's been wanting to do it.
You can finally do it. Exactly. This is the spot that you can go to the opposite side here. JSU, I'll flip it over to you. We talked through the Josh Allen stuff. I know you're intently watching all those Raptors you got inside your NBA lineups, and that's okay. That's what we do here at Run Pure Sports.
It's not
we grind all sports.
He needs to focus on winners and get that drink. Where's that drink at?
Where's that drink, though? That's right.
So I have two options for you. I'll let Tony choose the option. So this is the option, Tony, because this is what I got. I can either take this shot of Jim Beam bourbon, all right, little one, or I could just sip on the high nooner.
Oh yeah, I want the shot. I like the shot my way.
So I'll do it either now or in the middle of the show.
Yeah, middle. We'll give you the middle.
Can I just get one quick vote?
Yeah, go for it.
I would vote you do the shot right now to get it popping and then sip on the other unit.
I like that. I'm voting that one.
The problem is I want to give some takes real quick. So everyone knows I'm the biggest lightweight in the world.
No, that's not going to get you the one shot and the one drink.
I'll make sure we don't spend all day on here.
Or you can do it the opposite.
It's Kentucky straight.
If you want.
It's Kentucky straight bourbon.
What about this?
I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this.
You could sip it though, and then when we get to a pivotal point, you can chug it.
No, I'd rather do this unless you want me to wait until the middle of the show.
No, whatever you think gets the
do it now. We need it now. The people in the chat need it now, they said.
It's people in the chat need.
They also said, why not both? A lot of people said, why not both?
I like that. I wasn't thinking that. Tambo, that was a good. There you go. That's how it's done right there.
Yeah, now we'll get the real
now
takes.
We're over the top. Yeah.
Now we'll get Stafford 2.0.
Uncle T think about that. Uncle T's not chirping you no more.
No. So my father-in-law does Bourbon Friday at my gym. Every Friday night after the final class at the gym, they sip bourbon. It's real, man. I can never get there because we do our shows. But I'm serious. They just pull out a big thing of bourbon out of the locker and they just little plastic cups, and they're just sipping on bourbon for like 45 minutes every Friday night.
You said real men. So good.
All right, one of the reasons why I'm not there, I guess. I don't know.
I like it.
You got the job done. I'm giving you credit.
The chat's proud of you too.
There. Now you sip the rest of the show, and we're.
I haven't drank bourbon in a little while.
He's already feeling it. He's already
all the tough stuff. It makes you stronger for tomorrow, though. We're shipping.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So where are we at here, Tambo?
We're talking quarterback.
Refill while he gives winner.
We're talking quarterback. Big T just rolled through it. You know, we talked about, you were just coming back, I think, at the beginning about how even if Allen gets to 50, 55%, should he be more? People are spending lineups on these other lower end guys, just hoping that Allen does, and that's fine. But what's your thoughts on it, and what's your thoughts at quarterback in general?
Well, we all know that all these quarterbacks are going to get ownership, right? So it all pulls away from Josh Allen in the end. That's obvious. Like the only guy who shouldn't even get any ownership that will get like probably 5% just because everyone, like all these guys will play like a little bit of all these quarterbacks is Mac Jones. Like Mac Jones, that's just 5%. Okay, let the 5% play him, whatever. I don't care about that. Then you got Daniel Jones missing about half his line. 10, 12, maybe 15%. I don't know, somewhere in that 10 to 15 range. I'm not going to play him either. I don't like him. Kirk Cousins against the Patriots. That just doesn't sound great to me. And then you got the fact that people at 5,600 definitely going to have some of him. So the way I look at this slate is there's three quarterbacks. There's Josh Allen. There's Dak Prescott below Josh Allen, who's probably got the best chance to match a big Josh Allen game. But if Josh Allen has 40, it's tough for me to see Dak having that type of game. Dak at 25 is like Okay, that's a good game for Dak. Like Tony, if I Dak at 25, wouldn't you say that's like really, really good for him?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take under. So yeah, 25.
No,
would be
I'm just
big.
saying
Yeah, that's
though,
what I mean. 25 would be big.
big. So to me, it's like I want to play two quarterbacks. That's the way I want to build. So I'm definitely going to play Josh Allen, and I'm going to be really heavy on him because I think it's just wrong not to be when you have one guy that is by far the biggest ceiling on the entire slate. It's like really bad to just say I'm not playing any of him, especially if you're playing a ton of lineups. Now, if you're playing one lineup, that's different because then it changes the game. You're playing one lineup in the Millie Maker. You could say, I'm going to play Jared Goff or I'm going to play Dak or, I'm just going to fade Josh Allen. That's fine. But if you're playing multiple lineups, I wouldn't do that. So then it comes down to Dak or Goff. And for me, if I'm spending up, I'd probably want to take the spend down guy and have a little bit of him. My issue, though, in general is I kind of like the Detroit running game paired with Josh Allen. So I'm back and forth because I think the way that teams can get to the Bills is on the ground defensively. I think you can pound them on the ground. And that's the way I see Detroit attacking the Bills here. So I actually really like Josh Allen with the running backs if I'm stacking this game up. But my second quarterback will be Jared Goff just because of the price difference, the fact that I think a lot of people will go to Dak second. Jared Goff will be like the third or fourth highest owned quarterback. So for me, I'm going to take the spend down and the stud guy from the same game. Hope it's just a big game. But either way, that's the way I look at quarterback. Probably 40% is just wasted on Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Mac Jones, because of all these guys that are just going to play a little bit everyone.
All right, let me hop in because I'm with you guys on all that stuff. I will say this, though, one thing. So everyone in the chat's already caught on to it. It is Kirk Cousins in prime time, which is horrible. I don't care what anyone says. I don't go with that stuff usually, but it's definitely a thing. But here's the deal. Forget that because that's like course history to me in golf. It's there. It's something to talk about, but it's not big to me. But I will say this. Missing your left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, that's definitely a thing. And he'll be missing him again. He's out. The two losses that the Vikings have taken have been, they didn't even put up 10 points in them. And I have no clue right now how they're favored to win this game. Maybe that's everybody. Maybe that's Trappy against what I'm saying here. But to me, I don't see how the Vikings just bounce back all of a sudden and win this game. I think the Patriots can do more than enough here against them. I think their defense is fine. I think their run game is good, which we're going to get to running back in a second. So we're able to get in that way. But man, Cousins is going to be about 15% owned here. Daniel Jones, I'm not sure if you guys saw the update today. He is literally missing his entire O-line. It's like 4 guys that are out. So that's 25% of the ownership right there between those two quarterbacks. I don't love Dak to go back to this spot. I haven't completely ruled him out. I like Allen the most and then Goff. But here's the thing. I don't like Mac Jones, and it's probably the biggest waste. He's 5%, but I would rather pay down if even going off the board. And the 4 of the last 5 quarterbacks to play against Minnesota have put up over 20 DraftKings points. So at 5,100, if he can do it, and then the second reason for me here, why it'd be just a small take, is that he's also big leverage to when we're going to get to running back. Ramondre Stevenson is getting ownership at $6,400. So I don't think you do anything crazy. It's like what we talk about on Main Slate. You don't have to go wild here. You can go Mac Jones, Jacoby Myers, and a Minnesota guy and cut it off if you want. And just fill it up with all the Buffalo, Detroit guys and all that there and just hope that Mac Jones gets you the 20 points. It's ugly. He doesn't have good pass volume. He's not my favorite play. I'm just saying when it's obvious that it's Allen and Goff on the opposite side for $100 less, I've done worse than that. I'm not interested in the Jones, Cousins as much. And then Dak, not at all really. And then Dak would be sort of the 4th guy, but I don't think I'll get to him. So it's probably going to just be those 3 guys for me. Big T, you got anything else there you want to say?
Tambo, can I just add real quick though?
Yeah,
one of the reasons why like the quarterbacks, you can hear it when you talk, but you just don't trust the side, like the other side, like Daniel Jones. You don't trust that he can put up points without his offensive line against the Cowboys D. Same thing with Kirk Cousins without his left tackle against the Patriots. The Patriots know how to play just sloppy. Like they grind out games pretty much. And to me, it's just like almost like you just don't trust the other side of these games. Yeah. And there's one game that we kind of have the most faith in both sides, which would be Detroit and Buffalo. And that's where we kind of all land in that same quarterback boat. And that's why we do, is mainly because it's the one game where we can all kind of trust both sides in ways, or find the most reasons to.
Big time that. And then the other thing too is just the roster construction. I'll come to you in a second, Big T, but just the thought of it. Like when you do that, I know it's off the board, but if you can put the two running backs that you like, let's say it's a Dallas running back because I'm not on Dak. Let's say it's going to be someone like who I talked about earlier, like a Ramondre or a Singletary, because I'm not on Allen. I can now jam these PPR wide receivers in that don't need their quarterbacks to come along. We've seen it all the time where a Jefferson can get there without Cousins. We've seen it where, and they're not on this slate, but giving other examples, Adams without Carr, Kupp without Stafford before injury. All these dudes can get there without their quarterback. And so to me, that's where I'm saying people think, oh, I have to stack it this way, or I must do this. There's all these rules that they have formulated in their mind from a classic slate, where a 3-gamer to me is just so much different. So that was my quick thoughts there, Big T. Do you got anything else you want to add before we move on?
Yeah, I just think I wish they priced it. I forget. I think it was Dunkel talking about this on one of the shows. I wish they priced everyone where you would think about playing them more. So like, I wish this is another thing that I wish was different on short slates. Like on a 3-game slate, I feel like Mac Jones should be half price of Josh Allen, whatever that means, because he's at the bottom. So 4K, say 4K to 8K. If you look at their projections around the industry, you got high 20s and you got mid-teens. So at least then you can consider something like that. But when they're all like 5K and then Josh Allen's just way above, I wish they were just more spread out with different things. Like I'm trying to think of what, like if Mac Jones was truly 4K, I would definitely have way more interest in playing him. The ownership would go up. The Josh Allen ownership would come down. It just would make it so much more of a dynamic slate where you could do things like that. And same thing at running back. Like some of the scrub running backs, which some of them are really cheap, I think they should be like 4K compared to 8K, where if you take like 2 points or something from one of them, it doesn't kill you because of how the slate sets up, where these guys are so close in price that it's just really hard. I mean, even Cousins, like I don't see how you could play. So I made fun of Cousins. I don't see how you could play Mac over Cousins when he has Jefferson, Thielen, Cook, all these guys at home. I just could not play Mac Jones ahead of Cousins.
Well, you can late swap too if you're getting a good spot.
That's a good point for sure.
You can definitely late swap to it. So I don't hate that aspect of it. Again,
that's
I'm talking
a great point.
Smaller buy. That's why I'm saying you got to set it up as
you
something.
Go if you want chalkier, you go Cousins and whoever, and if you need contrarian, go Mac and Jacoby.
Yeah, there's always ways to get in and out of it, but I agree with you. One thing I will say though, and that's the challenge. It's slate dependent. The games we have in front of us is there is a real scenario here using the Goff versus Mac Jones situation where they're $100 apart, where obviously the opposite side of Allen in that game, that total, etc., all are appealing, but if Buffalo just rolls this Detroit team over, just because he has to throw doesn't mean he puts up enough fantasy points. I mean, it could be nothing. They just rolled again. Look at last week with Minnesota against Dallas. You know, they were still behind. They still had to throw, but it didn't mean anything for a guy like Jefferson or any of those dudes to be able to get there. It's just they got smacked. And that could definitely happen here with the Detroit team. I get it. Goff is at home. People like him there more. All those factors. He's in my pool. He's number 2. I'm just saying that's why I can see the angle of going down if you wanted to. And then you could always late swap. If you have Mac Jones, Jefferson, and Jacoby Myers, you can flip that and get it to Kirk Cousins and even keep Jefferson and just roll Myers down to somebody else, whether it's Aguilar or Bourne. I'd have to look at it exactly, but just an example where that stands out to me. JSU, anything else you want to add here before we go to the running back position?
I wonder too. I'll pose this as a question just to see what you guys think. But like, so is it then a mistake to not have at least one quarterback in your pool from a different game, like from some other game? So like, let's say Buffalo rolls, but it's just a mix of everything, right? They went 42-7 in this game, and they get the ground game going. Maybe Singletary rushes in one, maybe James Cook rushes in one too. And then Josh Allen throws like 2 and has like 2 for 280, you know, like, and has like a decent game, 19, 22, somewhere in that range, fantasy points. Like, is it wrong then to maybe not have one quarterback in your pool from another game so you could still build like Bills almost onslaught without the quarterback and then have a quarterback from another game? Maybe it's Dak and you have the Cowboys onslaught in a way where it's like Dak and receivers, and Dak just outscores Josh Allen. Like, what do you guys think about that?
Big T, I'll let that one go to you, and I'll follow up after you go ahead.
I mean, that's where it just comes down to what happens in the first game. If Josh Allen puts a 40 piece up, like you said, then you're not going to want anyone else to pivot to. But if he does bad, then I don't know. It just depends on how much gamble, how many teams you have. Like if you got 150, I know Tambo and I always talk about it on the golf stuff too, where if he's very likely, do you need 100%? You probably don't, to Tambo's point. Like, I don't know. You might be overkill going to 100 until he gets freaking 40 plus. And then you're like, man, I wish I didn't burn any other teams. But I think it probably is smart to at least play. I like the idea of putting Cousins in your team for of course, that's the late game, right? I haven't looked at the
time. That's the latest game on the day for sure.
Yeah. So you put him in and then you got the pivot open to Mac Jones. I wouldn't put Mac in just because then you can't pivot up if you needed to, unless you got, I'm sure you'll have a receiver too, but still, I guess with Jefferson.
3 ways probably, or something, 2 or 3 ways where you can get there if you want.
Either way, I would put Cousins in there. So maybe I'll add Cousins to my player pool too. I wasn't going to play him for sure, but it gives you options at least, which I do like. And you can do stuff like that, like where you're super heavy on the first game, but you don't play Josh Allen and maybe they run in a couple shorties, all the stuff we see happen, the random stuff. Maybe they still score a bunch, but Josh Allen only gets 25. Daniel Jones or Cousins or one of these guys somehow outscores him. You still got the game stack. I don't know. I like that. I'm going to keep some teams like that.
I think I might have to reassess my quarterback pool to have one quarterback outside of that game.
I think you want the late, again, if you put Kirk Cousins, the idea is that too, JSU. If you've got a lineup, again, I'm talking more MME structure here, but then you can assess your lineups.
That's what I'm talking about too.
Even if you got 3 teams, you can do what you guys are saying, though. 2 Josh Allen and 1 Kirk Cousins or something.
My point is, when you have that guy as your late game, you're not confined to that. So if you have it in an MME set and he's your third quarterback and you've got 20 lineups with him, and in 2 of those 20, 10% of your lineups, you had these super low owned running backs go off early or something like that, you can actually now make a decision to say, actually, you know what? I'm an idiot. I don't like this Cousins spot at all. I want to go to Dak with Lamb instead of Cousins with Jefferson, and whoever your other side was now becomes Slayton or whoever it is. It's like the same 3-way stack that you can make that decision on. So I got no problem setting up those builds for that and then making the decision. Otherwise, now if everything duds, now you might say, I'm going to get off Dak because this and go to that if you had it set up that way. It's just that's where the fun is in these slates, the late swap. But to your question, JSU, similar to most, and I know you're willing to take on the risk, you run one of the smallest player pools in golf that I've ever seen before. And I know you'll do it in other sports, even in NFL. Really, you put 3 or 4 quarterbacks max, and then you roll it out from there. Same thing here. I think it's just all the risk, risk versus reward. If you want to go all in on Josh Allen, I can't fault you for it, especially if we think 40 to 50% range is too low and you think he's 60% to be optimal or something, then jam him. And by all means, if he crushes, you're there. If you don't like it, I can see where others will take an underweight or a field stance and then try and pick up these late swap opportunities in those 2 other games. So that hopefully that can answer your question, but take us into running back, JSU.
I've seen a bunch of people just real quick talk about weather. They're all 3 in a dome.
Yeah. Joshua Hurt, our guy, he got him. He said all 3 games in a dome. We're good. Yeah. We didn't talk about
it. Wasn't just him though. I've seen other people say, I think a lot of people were thinking it was in New England or something. I don't know. They're all 3 perfect conditions though for that.
Yeah. It's just cold here anyways. So it would be fine outside of being cold, but it's not here. So you don't have to worry about it.
Speaking of New England, that is the chalk to start us off, JSU. We got Ramondre Stevenson up at the top, Singletary obviously being in that game. Then it kind of goes interesting because there's guys it could be, but it's also the fact that then you realize people have a little money to spend. So maybe it is Barkley or Cook or Pollard or one of those guys up there, 6,600 and above. So talk to me about the running back position, what you're seeing here, and we'll dive into this one.
Yeah, so I definitely like James Cook at the ownership I'm seeing right now, 4,400. And if the game does blow out, he makes a lot of sense as like the 4th bill in or something like that. So definitely like him for sure. I said that I like the running game against Buffalo too. Like if you think Detroit stays close, that means you think that Detroit is probably having some success on the ground. And also we know that once they get in that goal line situation, they just feed Jamal Williams. They just give him the ball when they get down in the 1 yard line, the tilting 1 yard touchdowns. But the man's just been doing it all year. So I don't know, it's just something they do. So I think Jamal Williams is a good play. I'm fine with playing like Tony Pollard again. You can go, right back to him. Dude's just a stud. I think it's almost tough for them to pull him off the field too. So I think he's going to get still a ton of work here. Even if Zeke gets a bunch of rushing stuff too, I think him and Zeke get used a lot. And especially in this game where I think Dallas is going to be ahead. So those are the guys I'm preferring to start. And then I'd probably have Ramondre. I'm going to fade Saquon, probably going to fade Dalvin. I haven't built any teams yet. So I'm just kind of going off of I haven't actually built teams yet, but just in my head, those are two of the guys that would probably miss for me. I would rather spend up at receiver. So I would rather take the mid-tier running backs or find some cheap running backs. So that's the way I look at running back. It's pretty straightforward for me.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cut and dry. I mean, that is the interesting thing. Big T, Detroit running backs on Thanksgiving just always seems to be a thing, always tilts everybody. We've got that situation again with a guy like Jamal Williams. You could play Swift if you trust it. I know Justin Jackson was getting some carries and touches last week from him, but still, you've got that option in Detroit. But Ramondre up top with Singletary seems to be the most common. You've been on James Cook for a while now. I will say this, the ownership shows nothing, but man, everywhere I turn today, yesterday, I hear people talking about him as the sneaky guy that you can just play here at $4,400. He fits. He makes sense. I don't mind it in the game stack. I'm just saying everyone saw the numbers that he got last week. He got a little bit more touches. He got involved. Maybe it's him or not. Maybe it's just Singletary again. Who knows? So what's your thoughts here at the running back position?
Yeah, I've loved James Cook, kind of like JSU. The price is the key, though. I talked about it at the other position. Saquon, 8K. James Cook, 4,400. So you're down almost half price. What I was talking about with the quarterback spot. I do think he'll be higher than people are seeing. I think he'll get to double digits owned just because of the slate. But he just can't get much higher than that. So even if he ended up 10% owned, which I think is about as high as he could get, somewhere in there, maybe like small field, higher stakes, he could maybe get a little higher. But either way, there's just too many running backs with volume that people are going to play. I mean, Stevenson, Singletary, Pollard, I think those three will be the highest owned. For sure the highest owned with these prices, 66, 64. I mean, Stevenson's going to be 50% owned. And the interesting part I see is Damian Harris looked good last week. The projections aren't going to show it, but he definitely got back to that role, which they had forever where they were splitting it and stuff. Does that mean I can play Damian Harris? I'm not sure on that because I don't love that game as far as points. I think it'll be a little bit slower pace. Both teams like to run. Both decent enough defenses. I know Dallas popped this team, but they were still 8-1 or whatever it was before that. I think they're better than they showed last week. It's similar to like Cincinnati when they played Dallas. Dallas just gives problems that other teams don't. Even New England. New England's got a good D, but they still don't cause the problems that Mr. Parsons does. He can totally blow up a game. When you can't block that guy, you're just not going to move the ball. It's that simple. And New England's good. Don't get me wrong. They're a very good defense, but it's not in New England. It's in the dome. I'm not convinced that they're just going to totally smother it. So I don't know. Stevenson would be my fade for sure, especially at 50% owned. I think Damian Harris is an interesting pivot, especially in my 150. It's interesting too on this slate because every team has some sort of backup except for Minnesota where Madison gets some work. Is Madison even?
Yeah, he gets some work. Last week he'll show he got more, but that was because of the blowout too. So
yeah, he gets work.
But he gets work, yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's got like a lower projection than even Breida. So I don't my point being is I can make a case every single team to play the backup except for Minnesota. So that at least makes me have a slight bit more interest in him, 7,400. I think he could be the forgotten guy a little bit too, where you look at the three chalky guys I talked about, Pollard, Singletary, Stevenson. Saquon, I think, could get more ownership than him too. So he could be the 5th highest running back on this slate. I don't know. I have to have some interest in that. And then you got the interesting pieces. Jamal Williams, who freaking scores every single week, twice, it feels like, literally every week. I can already picture it tomorrow. Like Amon-Ra down to the 1, Jamal Williams touchdown.
Yep.
Tight end down to the 1, Jamal Williams touchdown. I can see it now. 2 touchdowns, 15 fantasy points or something like that, where
same as always.
I'm just going to say this. If you're playing multiple teams, I would not fade a guy like Jamal Williams fully because he just scores. He leads all of the NFL in touchdowns, I think. And you're just not going to want to full fade a guy that can score 3 times. You're just, I mean, how many guys on this slate do we realistically could score 3 times? And the funny thing is, 2 of them are pretty dusty plays, in my opinion, Zeke and Jamal Williams. They're both very dusty, in my opinion, but they're also maybe the most likely to score 3 times of anyone on the slate. Imagine the tilt if both of those guys score 3 times on tomorrow's slate. So just out of pure Thanksgiving respect, because it happens every single year. Who was the guy for a while there that just kept scoring on Thanksgiving?
Theo Riddick.
Theo Riddick was one. I was just trying to look
Theo
up.
Riddick was definitely one.
Theo Riddick was good. It was the big dude, though. What was that big dude that played?
LeGarrette won. LeGarrette won.
Yeah, like he would crush on all the point being all the bums find their way to score on things.
And Tony, it's leverage, right? You're leveraging the Pollard ownership. People will play Swift a little bit too. You're leveraging the passing game when those guys score. It's hurting. It's affecting the outcomes for the quarterbacks, for the, and those quarterbacks will still get ownership, right? So I like what you're saying with those 2 guys.
This is just why I love 3-game slates, though. This is why I love game theory, because everyone knows how much I hate Zeke. I don't like Jamal Williams all that much, even though he won me a ton in Green Bay on Showdown. But could I make a case for them nuking the slate and being 15% owned? Yes. So, like, you could build a pretty creative team with Buffalo pass catchers, Josh Allen. All of a sudden you pop in Jamal Williams and Zeke as your running backs. Not only are you contrarian, but you're also saving salary. These guys are both in the 5Ks. I don't know, it gives you a different roster construction because you're fading all 3 chalky running backs. Those are the things I like to do. Just looking at running backs, though, I don't really see myself full fading in my 150. Honestly, the guy I think I want to fade the most out of my 150 is Ramondre, just because of ownership. He's going to be so high owned. And the people watching are like, well, you just said don't fade a guy that can break a slate. If he breaks a slate, that's not the same as these 10% owned guys breaking a slate. If a 50% owned guy breaks it, that's okay, because if he doesn't break it and I outscore him, I only got to beat half the field again. It's just a math game. The numbers are way down. So I don't know if I'll full fade him, but I also like Swift. I mean, 5,600 is a good price for him. He's let us down a bunch. So you could almost play him or Jamal Williams. The problem with Swift is the same thing I just said about Jamal. When these dudes get inside that 5, Jamal is just going to come in and score. So you need Swift to break one, which he could. He could catch a screen. He's still getting a ton of pass work. So I want to go cheap. I mean, I've been talking mainly about my 150 because that's my plan for the most part. But in my 3 main teams, I like the cheap range. James Cook, DeAndre, Damian Harris, I think, like I said, is very, very contrarian for what he could do. And in Dalvin Cook and Pollard. So I would be lower on Stevenson, lower on Singletary, definitely lower on Saquon, and higher on all the lower owned guys.
Yeah. I will say one thing too about Swift. Justin Jackson's been getting work.
I think you can play. I'm glad you said that too, because in your 150, I do think you can play him. It's going to require him breaking one though, because of the same exact thing. Yep. He's not coming in inside the 5. So, and he's not going to be in with this many running backs on the slate. He's not going to be in the winner with, like, even if he gets 12 carries for 60 yards, it's just has no chance to be in the winner unless he breaks one. But at this price, I mean, what is he? He's 4,100. He's going to be 1% owned. And if he breaks one, you got a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a Millie maker only in that.
It's like a 1% play that if it gets there, you probably still don't even have it. So I'm not going to waste my lineups on that, but I get it for Millie maker play, but we talk about it.
But it's the same thing like you were saying, though. You can play 5% or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he fits perfect in like.
What about an injury? We always at least throw that out there. What happens when Jamal gets injured?
Yeah.
You keep playing that way. I'll play my way. If that happens, playing for injuries, it can happen. I get it all. I'm saying
not just playing for injury though, because he's getting volume.
But what about blowout, Tambo? If it's a blowout, they're not putting Swift out there. I'll tell you that right now. Like guaranteed, they ain't putting Swift out, and they're probably not putting Jamal out there.
I was just about to say that's why I feel best about running back. A lot of the stuff you guys have talked about, just to tie it down. But I actually like Breida more in a blowout spot, and I'll tell you why.
How much work's he been getting?
Well, I don't know, but he got a touchdown last game. So if you look at just, using one spot, and my point more so being, I like that game. The 2 takes I have at running back, the strongest ones. Everyone's going to get to Dallas defense when we talk about it later. Now that they've seen the O-lines out, all that, they may pair it with one. I'm going double running back for Dallas. I like using both of them. We've seen Zeke eating up, hopping in the Salvation Army, big in on Thanksgiving and eating the turkey and whatnot. I've seen that. And Pollard is just too good, even with Zeke in there. I don't care. So I like that quite a bit. You use both of those guys together. You can even put them with the D. And my other take could be way off. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. James Cook at 4,400, different position altogether. But I'll take Isaiah McKenzie over James Cook tomorrow for points. Even though he hasn't been running as much routes lately and all these factors, don't care. I'll take him. And for those 2 running backs we talked about, Singletary and definitely Swift, I like them a lot in the game stacks, the full game stacks, even together in the same lineup, because usually Singletary's in the higher scoring, the more back and forth games. And then Swift gets more of that pass catching work and stuff like that too. I know you're saying it could be Jackson. Do it in a couple. I got no problem with it. I just said that's where I hate hunting for the 1%er. Like I said, I just don't play that way. I've never really played that way. It doesn't work very well in any sport. It gets talked about even more so in golf, which you guys know I do a lot of content for, where it's like, oh, if you just get this guy to do it, you win. It's not true. You got to have the other 5 golfers here. You got to have 8 other spots. Correct. But if you put it in, it makes sense. JSU, you said the best point. If you build the blowout script, go ahead. Throw Jackson in there and set it up. That makes at least sense with your lineup. So if you get them right, you at least probably have the right script as well. So load the shit out of that Bill side and then throw him in there, right? So I don't hate that. Don't really like these pay-up options, even though I know they'll be at least a little bit more contrarian once ownership shakes out. They might not be at the 20 to 30% that you see here. They'll get some because it's just the nature of the slate and having the flex position. But I do think that you can just go to some of these other guys. Pollard, man, even after last week's game, this is the one big T I always say it. Like, obviously he's probably not doing what he did last game, but this is a 3-game slate. We don't need him to get all those points. We just need him to get enough points to make it make sense. So I don't care. Everyone, Johnny Football's talking about Jerry Jones getting Zeke in. I definitely think they both score here. So
Tambo, don't forget, Zeke had friggin' 2 touchdowns last game.
Yeah.
What if they both score and they're both somehow in the winner because running back just failed? I mean, we talk about that, but
that's what I was just saying. And it had nothing to do with last week's result. It had all to do with 2-game slate. Everyone tries to make every storyline work. I honestly think that could just be the case. I like them quite a bit here in this spot. We talked about the Giants O-line being non-existent. If they get, what do they do here, Big T? Anyway, let's go back to that for a second. If you were trying to consider Barkley with no O-line, are they just going to hand it off a million times and hope Barkley can just pile away 35 carries?
Saquon's path to victory for me is clear, and why I want to play him. They could throw literally 12 dump offs to him. He catches 9 balls for 50 yards. That's his path to me. He's not getting there on the ground. I'd be stunned if he got there on the ground.
That's what I'm thinking. Just force him to throw, right? So that actually does.
I think he could catch a ton of balls, though. Like in my paths where I take him, it would definitely be a Dallas wins pretty easy build. And maybe you fade the Dallas defense. Maybe he scores on the ground, but mainly catching just a ton of dump offs. I remember this matchup. I think it was last year on Monday night, where maybe 2 years ago, because Saquon was hurt last year, but 2 years ago, he caught like 12 balls. If you pull up the game script, someone out there can do it. I think he caught 12 balls that game. It could be something like that. And these people in the chat, they keep saying, like, play the best players. It's Thanksgiving. That's what everyone does. This 3-game slate. You don't think we know that? Of course, you can just click the optimize button. We're trying to win $1 million.
Yeah, last 2 times he's played them, 6 catches and 4 catches.
What about the 2 years ago? How many?
That goes back to 21. I don't have further back, but I believe it's happened before. I'm not saying that. I think you made a good point there. Obviously, that makes sense. My worry is, can they get the ball out before Micah Parsons gets there? I think he was questionable, but I'm assuming he'll play here. So
it would change things for sure if he somehow didn't play for me.
Yeah, you got to get the ball out.
Micah,
With that guy coming at you,
I would like Saquon a lot more if he didn't play. I like Giants a lot more if he didn't play. He's just so important.
He's
crazy.
good to go. He said, yeah, that's what I thought. He had already said it. That's how I want to check it. But my point, again, that's, one guy, I get it, but obviously he's one of the best in football all around. And you talk about having him come at you with no O-line and the rest of that defense that's there as well. To me, it just, makes me worry a little bit. Obviously in tournaments, I don't worry at all. Just play whatever you want to play. But I like leaning to the side that I prefer. And that's, in this case, that spot. So yeah, Daniel Jones, make it happen, says could be scrambling a lot, maybe get over on the rush yards with Daniel Jones. I don't hate that. It just doesn't make me like it for DFS. Big T.
He's definitely going to scramble. I agree with that. He's definitely going to try and scramble. That's for sure.
Just again, he could scramble into the wrong one and then it's pop on the other side and good night for Daniel Jones.
I didn't say it was going to work, Tambo. I was going to say, though, he's going to try.
He will be scrambling. All right. Yeah, I definitely see that. Yeah, Big T, you want to go to wide receiver? We can start there. If you got nothing else to add at running back, we could start up top.
Pierre in the chat said that was back when Eli was playing. It could have been. I remember there was a game where he caught 14 balls, though, against Dallas. Receiver, yeah. So I think we covered running back very good. But receiver, I think becomes a lot more clear for me. I think I'll get way different at running back, more so than these other games. So just receiver, I can just narrow teams out. And people will try to get different at receiver. I'm just going to be different and not get super creative at receiver. I'm going to play my guys with my quarterbacks, whichever ones I play that way. So I'll just go team by team real quick, just give my thoughts. New England, the only guy I could even really consider outside of something, unless I'm playing Mac Jones on a team and pivoting, would obviously be Jacoby at 5,100. I don't really want to go there, but just to cover all the angles. Minnesota side. So I've already seen it. A bunch of people talk up Thielen. I refuse to play Adam Thielen. I absolutely refuse it. He looks so dusty to me. And the crazy part is he's going to be owned. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he was 30% owned. I really wouldn't be.
No way.
Every site I see has him mid-20s, and he's in like all of our cores already that I've seen. Like people are playing him. Like
it's the price.
I know it's the price, but he should be this price. He is super dusty.
But you say it all the time. It's just the price play. Like you see it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And I can just guarantee it. There's just literally no way I play him. I mean, just no chance whatsoever. I can say that with some guys, like even the New England guys, we talked about pivots and stuff. If I get to the night and I need to pivot, Thielen, there's no scenario I'm pivoting onto Thielen. I'll tell you, he is so dusty.
God, if I see the winner and it's you with friggin' Adam Thielen, I'm going to go nuts.
The only way would be if I messed up and just did it by accident.
With Hawkinson there, I think he's the number 3 now, right?
He might be like the number 6 guy there. Like it's just he's so bad. Like if you play him tomorrow, you are bad at fantasy football. Like it's just absolutely horrendous. But this is one of the things I like about Minnesota. I can't make a case for KJ Osborne. I think this game's somewhat low scoring. It's the late game, so I don't really need to get that creative. So you know what? I'm going to play Jetty, 8,200. The dude struggled last week. Absolutely, I'm going to play him. It's a 3-game slate, and he's got 30-plus point upside. So I will definitely be playing him. I don't know about my main team, but I'll have a ton of them. And we already talked about running back. But so you got on that team, Cook, Jefferson, Hawkinson would be the only, like, I don't even consider anyone else. I guess maybe you could throw like just a total punt tight end like Johnny Mond or something, just in pure roster construction basis. But Mond. Yeah, so that's where I'm at, Minnesota. Thielen will be my easiest fade of the slate, though. I mean, Green Ranger in there because every time I say to fade, they hit, right? Green Ranger, play Thielen. I see you in the chat. Play Thielen, Green Ranger. I want you to, buddy. And when he busts tomorrow, I'm going to let you know, just like everyone lets me know when I say someone's going to – a 25% owned guy's got – I'm giving – you know what? I'm taking it a step further, JSU. I'm putting my streak on the line. There's no way Thielen's on 39 straight guarantees. We're going to 40 tomorrow. There is no way Thielen's in the winner tomorrow. The streak is on the line. I'm putting the belt up. No way he's in the winner. That's my take. Let's go.
It's going for 40, Big T. You got me on A.J. Dillon was 39.
Oh, was it? That was 39. So yeah, well, whatever it is, the streak is going on the line. I haven't lost one in a while. It's getting a little courageous here because Thielen is high owned, but doesn't matter. No chance.
I'm not on Thielen anyways, so it don't matter.
He is not going to be on the winner. Streak's on the line. Let's move to the next game. We got.
Someone said Thielen is this week's Mixon.
Someone said
everyone always remembers the ones that I miss on. This is like when I do the wood with Hoop and Crane. They'll make fun of my one bad take and they'll forget the 19 good takes I had. That's how it works. They all mix in. What about all the other? What about Hopkins that week that was 30% owned and busted? What about him? He doesn't count?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the Giants. I think you can get a little more creative with the Giants because price points. Slayton has the ability. Okay, so we all like Dallas, I think. Slayton, though, is a guy, unlike Thielen. So here's your pivot right here. And I don't even like the Giants, so I'm not really selling it. But Slayton is 100 more than Thielen, and he can house. Like, he can take that ball 80 yards to the house and break a slate to win you $1 million. It doesn't mean I'm going to play him. I don't really like him. But I think he has way more upside than Thielen, and I would put him in there. Richie James, price point play, 3,400. Galladay, I don't know. I mean, dude is so bad, but he's 3,700. I have a little bit of interest in these Giants receivers more so than the other side, so I like them a little. Dallas, another chalky guy that I could see myself fading is actually CD a little bit, just because of what you guys said. I like Pollard and Zeke for the reasons we said at running back, where I don't think I'm going to play Dak. So you guys are kind of naturally pushing me into where I want to be. I don't want to play Dak. Zeke is super high owned. I mean, not Zeke. CD is super high owned. So I can play the running backs, get off a lot of – I mean, CD Lamb could be 50% owned at 7,100. Like, he's going to be very chalky. You don't think he is, Tambo?
No, I agree. I'm laughing because he was 7,500 last week. Everyone jams him.
Yeah.
He fails.
And now it's a 3-game slate on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, may as well hop right back on.
I think you guys bring up great points about it. Play the running game. Hope this game stays slow, which I think it should stay slow. So I'm not full fading CD, though. I'm not giving the Thielen take. I'll have some CD. But I do think, like on my main team, I doubt I play CD. I'd rather play Pollard in the running game. And then let's move to the main attraction game, the first game that a lot of people are going to be on. I'll start with Detroit. Amon-Ra. I mean, every single week I'll have Amon-Ra. Great play, great volume, great upside. Checks every box. He can be a run back for the Buffalo guys. Definitely play him. Khalif Raymond, I think, is in play on this 3-game slate, especially if you love the first game. Even DJ, so you guys got the snap counts. How many snaps did DJ Chark play? None?
Like 12%.
19%, I think, yeah.
I'm just going to say it. These are the guys that end up doing something on Thanksgiving, and no one plays them. And to Tambo's point, nobody in DFS does this better than Tambo, where he'll just get random exposures in spots that fit that team. Like, say you're game stacking this game. A lot of chalk. Maybe you're playing some chalk running backs with it. And you just pop a little DJ Chark in there at 3,800. And when he somehow houses, you're just so mint. And is he likely to? Probably not. He probably will bust. But again, this is where tournaments come in. Every single year on Thanksgiving, these things happen. And then right away when he scores because it's always the first touchdown too, it feels like. And everyone's like, DJ Chark scored a 50-yard touch. Slate over? Slate up. Wouldn't you want to be a part of that touchdown for 1 week to start your Thanksgiving where it's
no
like
Chark,
that?
No money. We can see the tweets already.
And I'm just saying, I think we can all agree that this first game is the best game for sure. And a lot of it is chalky. But how can we get different inside this game if it goes how we think it will? Guys like DJ Chark and Tom Kennedy could be interesting plays. You don't have to play a ton. Don't play a ton, but play 10% of these guys. And don't play these guys if you're like going heavy in other spots. I'm talking just when you're heavy on this game.
Could play Tony. Just
Josh Reynolds
might
play though. Yeah.
Well, if he plays, my point being any of the Detroit receivers that are in there, we'll see who's active tomorrow. Whoever's in there, I will like from both of these sides, really. But get creative with the secondary guys that are a little lower. How much is Reynolds? Because I don't have him on my projection.
He's 4,200. So he's like
perfect.
Right with Raymond.
So if he's in there, I would like him even more than these guys. So I hope he's in there. I like all of Detroit. I like all of Detroit. I think they're perfect run back.
There's some good plays in this game. You can go the rap gods, Wiz Khalifa Raymond across from Tupac Shakur. You can put those two together.
How many snaps has Tupac been playing?
Not as much, but if you don't believe in the Isaiah McKenzie theory, Jeff Okuda
Shakir?
is still out too, by the way. So really they have nobody on that side that you could sort of plug in just guys going against them like that. So I don't hate that. And then you also have, you mentioned him, but I'm trademarking the name, Darius Break the Slayton tomorrow if he just snaps it off and just crushes it out of the
gate.
He
could definitely break the slate. No one can tell me that he couldn't break the slate. I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's good plays.
Because that's how he gets there is the bomb. Yeah. You know it. You know how he gets there. So,
yeah. I mean, you talked earlier about Daniel Jones scrambling around and he swoops Mika somehow one time and just airs it out and Slayton just happens to be there and walks in 56 yards.
I think Slayton's a great player.
And Dallas plays aggressive, man. Yeah. Like, so that's gonna if they don't get there on one, all it takes is one play. They don't get there. Daniel Jones has the time and he throws it up, and it's just, again, it takes one play. So
I talked about the rest before you guys get in. I talk too much. I'm doing all the JSU talking because you guys got me.
That's fine. I love it.
Got me drinking with giving all my takes, but. Best play of the slate. I mean, I don't know how you don't play Gabe at 5,300.
It's just too cheap for that. When you talked about Thielen, I was like, how could you play Thielen at 4,900 when you got $5,300 Gabe, even with
I'm planting the flag on him. He's going to be very high owned. I'm not saying he's not, but I just don't know how you don't play Gabe. If he busts, I'm okay with it. Like, 5,300, I don't know how you don't play that.
Yeah, bad price. I agree that I want to bring this one up because the chat keeps talking about with Wandale being out. Isaiah Hodgins, I think is the guy's name, 3K min that they've been messing around with, giving some more snaps to, giving some catches. I did read an article on it. I forget where he came from and why they brought him over. Was he, oh man, I'm trying to think. I forget what team he played for before, but anyway, one of the coaches he's got affiliation with. So they brought him over and they like him a little bit.
Is he the dude from Oregon State? Someone in the chat tell me.
Yeah, someone could look
he's played a decent amount I know last week he played a decent amount. Does Richie James possibly coming back affect him though?
He probably would a little bit, yeah, but I'm saying that's where you could set up a rule or something like that and just get what you like out of it. But I think it was the Bills he came over from. I can't remember if I'm right there or not.
I think
but either way,
from Oregon State. I like that guy.
People think you see the work at 3K. You could do worse in the large field stuff. You want to try it out. Again, depends on injuries and stuff too. But Richie James looks like he'll play 2 limited practices, but we'll see, right? You never know. So I don't hate that either. JSU, what do you got here at wide receiver?
Yeah, just following Tony's lead with the New England guys. Like, it's just tough to play these guys at receiver. So you could play Myers, I guess, and you could just take a shot in the dark on one of these 3K guys, but you're literally guessing between like 5 dudes or 4 dudes. It's just so tough to get there. Minnesota's cut and dry for me. Like Tony said, it's Jefferson. No one else I'm not wasting my time with. The Giants side is definitely the interesting side because you brought up Hodges, who I was going to bring up. They also got Richie James coming back. Tony brought up Slayton. We're all going to like the Dallas D, but one of these cheap guys could just get there. Even in garbage time, they could get there too. Like these guys are super cheap. So if you like Richie James, Hodges got the third most snaps.
How many snaps did Richie play last week?
He 17. Played none. Or did he get 17?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even
17% or snaps.
17. Oh, you're right, Tambo. 17 snaps. He got 17.
3 for 48 and a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I might be interested in, Tambo.
I think Richie James and Hodges are like the 2 plays that I kind of like from the Giants. I'm going to get slivers of because they're both super
slivers.
cheap.
I like that word.
Yeah.
Isaiah
little
Livers. Isaiah Slivers.
Oh,
Guy
slivers,
from
slivers.
Detroit
I like that.
got me the final seed. Thank you,
Yeah.
Isaiah Livers.
Yeah. It's all thanks to you, man. You did it. You put it in.
I love it. My guy now.
Dallas, I'm with Tony. The running backs. I want to be in on the running backs. If I'm not playing Dak, it just makes sense. You want these wide receivers, especially guys like CeeDee Lamb, who are going to be super popular. You want some of them to fail or to not bust off. So I'm gonna stay. I don't even know the percentages, but I'm going to be really low, if not fading a lot of these guys, and playing the running back side of that. And then Buffalo, Detroit, Gabe is tough not to play. It's going to be tough not to have him on a bunch of your teams. He's 5,300, which is, I don't even get why they do. I know why they do this, but like, just
he's been overpriced all year too.
300 in this spot is insane. Like
So
it's absolutely insane. So
hasn't he been in the 6Ks all year too? Even 7Ks sometimes.
The whole year. Yeah, literally. Like
then they randomly just spring him for 5,300 on the Thanksgiving slate.
Jefferson is 8,200. Lamb is cheap. They make the pricing a lot softer on Thanksgiving,
which I get it. It makes sense.
That's why they did it. I get it. It's just like
where they chose him at that price. Yeah.
I'm going to get so different that honestly, I thank him because I'll just play him. It saves me one less spot I got to think about.
Yeah. It's true. Shakir, McKenzie, I think those are also players in MME you're going to want to have some of, just because if you're playing a ton of Josh Allen, I think you're going to want some of those guys. They're super cheap just in case. If they do anything, they're probably going to be on a team if they like catch a touchdown somehow or something like that. So I definitely would take shots on them. The Detroit side, I'm probably going to be higher on the cheaper wide receivers and take shots on them because everyone's, and I love Amon-Ra, but everyone's going to play him as their Detroit guy. Everyone's going to play him in the running backs because they don't trust any of these cheap receivers. So I definitely want to be higher on these cheap receivers. Reynolds, if he plays, he's questionable right now. I think it seems like he's trending towards playing, but just obviously wait. It's the first game, so we'll get it for sure. And then DJ Chark, like Tony said, I think the snaps go up too, but 3,800. Everyone saw what he did last week, which was nothing. Hopefully they stay away. I'm going to be on these guys. So
he's my random guy that I think is going to, if I had to pick one just totally random dead guy, I think it's him that could just randomly do it.
I could see it.
It's totally random too. There's no basis behind it besides just feeling like it's him.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think he's good. Like I think
he is good, but man, he hasn't been good in a minute. But couldn't you just see it like a 60-yarder right out of the gate and everyone just tilting DJ Chark? Like I could see it.
I think it's Raymond. I think that you're thinking of Khalif Raymond right now.
But I wouldn't be shocked. The difference is I wouldn't be shocked about Raymond.
I think Tambo just likes saying Khalif.
I like Khalif Raymond
as well. Khalif and Tupac. I like that.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
Speaking of Tupac, we talked Shakir, but man, one of those guys, I think, if you like, everyone maybe forgets, but last week, so Noah Okudah, and then think about last week, Wandale was ripping them up through the slot.
What did you just say, Cooter? Noah Cooter. What?
No Cooter. He's like, you got to get your head out of the gutter. Forget the Cooter. This guy got his head
Put that drink down, Tony. Put that drink down.
JSU, how you feeling over there? How's them drinks hitting you, man?
I feel fine.
All right. The chat said they thought you were feeling it. So
how's that the sipping going? Is it where you got what 2 positions left to get that thing down?
Sipping? What do you mean sipping?
You haven't got in the.
You got to get that high noon going.
Yeah, what's going on? You haven't started?
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to.
That was Tambo's recommendation to get us over the top.
That's going to get us over the top. Yeah.
I thought the whole point was me getting in early. You guys didn't want me to get it.
Then you were sipping. Then it's sip after that.
Yeah, it'll make it fun by the time.
You guys are really pushing limits here with my drinking ability. Okay,
Thanksgiving. We're giving thanks.
I'm a drinker.
Take a bong rip too.
Swoop in the chat wants a bong rip. I don't know.
Take a bong rip, Big T. That's
we got to get him to the last position before we do that.
I haven't taken a bong rip in about 12 years. What are we crazy? I was probably 19.
Ronald said, "I can't keep his head in the frame." That's just him. That's not him.
That's just me. That's not me being drunk. That's
It
definitely
feels
nice.
so quiet and like the mood is set for this show versus like a Sunday early in the morning getting hyped up for the day. This is a late night show, so having
I
some
love the
drinks, having
late
some
night
fun.
shows.
But hit the like button for us if you guys are just joining us. Almost 600 watching now. We appreciate it on this Wednesday evening, getting ready for a nice little Thursday 3-gamer with the Thanksgiving holiday. So hit the like button if you're just joining us and hopping in here now. I don't know, a couple other thoughts I had there. I mentioned that slot matchup. I like that. Jefferson, Big T, the conversation just keeps being, I know you already brought it up, but failed last week. It's Bill Belichick. All he's going to do is shut him down, the turf toe, all this. I mean, he's going to have ownership, but it still at least feels like it will be kept in check a little bit. So I kind of like him up top. And then Jacoby Myers, I already brought it up. Someone said Mac Jones ain't going to be slinging it enough. You don't even need to put, if you don't want to stack Mac Jones, that's okay, or Kirk Cousins. You can still play just Myers. Like, he can get you 6 for 80 and a touchdown, and that's his day, and that's massive at $5,100. So I like him quite a bit as well. Not trying to make many of these other guys work. I do like Slayton. I like McKenzie. I like the other guys that we talked about. But anything else you want to add here at this position before we move on?
Who, me? I talked for like 45 minutes about receivers.
Yeah, just now that you heard our thoughts, and anything else you had to add? If not, we can go to tight end.
No, I talk too much. I got to let someone else talk.
JSU?
I talk too much, he said. How's it feel, Tony? How's it feel?
I never talked about that many people in a row before.
I don't know why you did
a good job.
Because I was on a roll. I was feeling the mojo. I thought, well, the truth is the whole time I thought JSU was sipping, so I was trying to help along, and then I figured he wasn't. That was very hurtful. So we had to get him going.
Is bull a swear? Can I say bull, or do I need to add
Bull's
on before
fine.
it's a swear?
What's bull?
Well, I was about to say bullshit. I was about to say bullshit.
What is it? Bull?
Because he said damn is a swear, but then he was like, God damn it. And that's a swear, but not damn. Same thing with bull. Like, bullshit is a swear, not bull. It's the same thing.
Bull. I say bull, like ride the bull. You say bull. Bullshit is what you're saying.
I'm
like
literally asking my entire family tomorrow about damn. Damn is not a swear.
What are you talking about?
This is insane. Damn.
I'll get off it. JSU, because you didn't sip it, now you have to take a chug. That's the rules.
That doesn't rhyme.
No, there's no rhyme. I'm saying
you're like Marshall Mathers with the rhyme. I mean, you can't give me a rhyme.
Oh God!
On the spot, let's go. There's no mirror. Let's hear it. Give JSU one.
All right, we got to flip it. It's time for JSU to get off and stop sipping it, and then get back. What was the line going to be? It was something else. I had it better than that, but I got to.
It was coming quick, and then you stuttered. You just had to say rip it. You had to finish with a rip it.
It was going to be something like time to hit it, bong hit, rip it, JSU sip it while Simon in the back going clip it, put it on Twitter, something like that, and then tweet it. I forget what it was going to be, but try to have something with it just so we can have some fun.
I got a bunch of people with me on this, by the way. There's people in the chat who are with me, so I'm good with it. I'm not on an island.
These people are with me in the chat.
No, my guy Brad, he's
got one
me.
guy in the chat's on your side, Brad.
Since he didn't sip it, time to tip it.
I like
now that's the one.
Yeah, old blue.
If Tambo thought of it, I would have done it. Tambo had to think of it.
Big T gonna ship it the next line. Okay,
like
good stuff.
I'll be fine with them.
I don't know if I can. Ooh.
We got to move on here, Big T. We got to go to the tight end
struggling
position.
a little bit right now.
I'm having flashbacks to the golf shows.
We're
those
completely
golf
off
shows
the
were great. I don't know why you're
I can't
having
wait till
flashbacks.
the golf shows again.
Those golf shows were great.
The whiteboard's right here. I got some stuff on it, or I'd hold it up and show you guys, but I don't want to show what's on it.
What's on it?
Yeah, what is on it?
No, you can say it though. You can say it.
Stuff I don't want to show on the camera.
Please let me know in the chat what you think Big T has on his whiteboard that he doesn't want to show us right now. I would love to get some thoughts on what you think is on his whiteboard. But if you can just go off screen and go down to it, can I get Isaiah McKenzie DraftKings points over James Cook?
No, definitely.
Old time's sake.
Different positions.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just same game, same matchup.
I like your side better.
Oh God, all right.
But I also like using a running back position on that. If I could play McKenzie at running back, I'd be all in. I'd be all aboard.
I mean, he's close. He could be close. Takes those end arounds.
Said he's working on workbench positions.
Yeah, I like your side.
Mapping out workbench positions on the whiteboard, getting ready for old Amber.
I don't need help with that.
He's not mapping that out. Blueprints to the workbench.
I know the map there.
Jeez. Should we go to tight ends on that note?
Yeah. Let's go to the tight ends.
Go to tight ends.
So tight end is always an interesting spot on the Thanksgiving slate. 3 games. It's always dusty, it feels like, because you always got these teams. I mean, Dalton Schultz, Dawson Knox, Hawkinson should be 100% of the ownership. And then you got tiny percentages of everyone else. And honestly, like, I'm looking at the rest of it. We talked about a lot of the Detroit guys. I just don't see. I mean, on DK, hold on, let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. Is any of them like super cheap? Cager 2,700. So the issue is, let's just talk about the issue. Let's say, what do these guys need? I mean, one of the tight ends, it's almost like quarterback in a way, at a lesser position, but one of these guys is going to get you 12 or 13 at least. So these scrubs, you're going to need that many, in my opinion. There's going to be cheaper spots and stuff.
I think they're going to need 10, Tony.
10's a good number. Let's say 10.
10.
And 1 touchdown for a lot of these guys isn't fully going to get them to 10. A lot of these guys, they probably will. Don't get me wrong. If you guaranteed me a touchdown from any of these 2,700 guys, I would absolutely play them and take my chances that they do something else. But the problem is, a lot of these guys are going to get 0 or 1 or 3 or 5 or 4, and those just aren't going to be good enough. I know we've talked about the Detroit guys, Brock Wright, James Mitchell. I just would rather play some of those other Detroit guys we talked about. I just don't really want to gamble here. So I think I'm going to eat the chalk at this position. I'm definitely not going to play the New England guys. I think Cager might even get steamed a little bit at 2,700. I've heard a lot of people talk about him. So for me, I'm going to be boring. I've talked a lot about contrarian stuff along the way. Here, I'm going to play the 3 guys, Schultz, Hawk, Knox. I'm not going to gamble at the tight end position at all.
I think that makes sense. I think Cager would be the cheap guy I would play.
I did want to look at FanDuel, though. Are any of them like really cheap on FanDuel? Like, I'm talking is actually, 4K.
I believe Cager is a wide receiver on FanDuel.
Oh, well, that I definitely don't like him as a receiver. So we do have one guy, and this is where it's different though on FanDuel, because it's not PPR, and 1 touchdown from a guy in the low 4Ks definitely could be in the winner on FanDuel. Even a 0 could be in the winner on FanDuel, because you know why? Josh Allen's almost 10K on FanDuel. Other guys are actually priced up a little on FanDuel. So it's the one different position. Like, you got Schultz, Knox, Hawkinson all around 6K. You could go down and play like a James Mitchell, a Peyton Hendershot, Ferguson, Zolstra. Totally gamble on it because they're 4,100. You're saving 2K. Maybe it gets you up to something. I would be way more willing to gamble on FanDuel than DK. I'll just say that.
Yeah, always in that sense, too. If you look at it just from a 2v2 perspective, like you said, you got Allen with a 0. If it's 35 and a 0, but that
I honestly think you can ship with a 0 on FanDuel at tight end, as long as it's cheap, not if it's a Dalton Schultz 0 or something.
That's what I'm saying. If giving an example, if Dak and Dalton Schultz are worth 27 points combined, and that's about the same price, that 35 with Allen.
Does that add up? That's interesting you say that. What is the like price difference of those guys?
I just think of it like that. I don't know what it actually
is. Well, it's a perfect example though. So you got 5,800, and so you got 13,800 for Dak and Schultz.
So it's 13,800.
13,800, and Josh Allen's 9,500. So
it's like Josh Allen and James
So it puts
Mitchell.
you in that range. So it's a perfect example.
Yeah, there you go. $4,200 for James Mitchell.
And on FanDuel, where you don't get PPR, it's like you could definitely beat those 2 with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I look at it that way too.
FanDuel.
Definitely a move on.
Whereas
FanDuel.
DK, you're just not as likely, because I mean DK, like you said, double digits from one of these guys. I mean, chances are one of these tight ends is definitely going to score, the top guys. So yeah,
or at least get like 12, right, Tony?
They're gonna one of them's gonna get there for sure. Whereas on FanDuel, I mean, I wouldn't be totally shocked if none of them got double digits because you don't get PPR.
Right. With that said, you talk double digits. Let's talk double something here, JSU. Double tight end has been brought up at least 3 or 4 times in the chat. Big T is laughing because I thought I was going to say double D's or something. People said he got it on the whiteboard, but double tight end has been a topic of discussion anyway. JSU,
Uncle T said putting down. You didn't put it down that quick to Nooner. No chance.
No, I
didn't. Put it back down on the counter, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, no way you chugged it when I wasn't paying attention.
Why, you want me to chug it? I mean,
not yet. At some point before the show's over, but yeah.
Talk to me
That's why you got to sip it now, so at the end when we tell you to finish it, you don't have to finish as much.
No.
It's all course knowledge.
Yeah. So double tight end, I don't like it. I don't like playing double tight end. I just think with these guys at this position, you're just missing a ton of upside. Even like a cheaper receiver almost has similar kind of upside in ways to some of these guys that are going to be really popular, like Dawson Knox. So just for example here. So Dawson Knox had a good game, like a really good game last game. 7 for 7, 70 yards, 14 fantasy points. That's the most he's had all friggin' year. The guy scored touchdowns and had less than that, 9, 12, to Tony's point with the cheap guys even. And like to play double tight end, you're probably playing, I would assume you're playing 2 of these guys, right, Tambo? 2 of the top 3, because you're not playing like Dawson Knox and Cager, I don't think, is the move, right? Yeah. So I think you're playing 2 of these 3. So 1, everyone's doing that exact same thing. If they're playing double tight end, they're playing 2 of those 3. And 2, I just don't think they have the upside. Now, could Schultz and Hawkinson getting 14, could that be on the winner? Maybe. It could. But you have a much bigger range that you have to beat when you look at the guys from 5K down that he has to outscore, like Hawkinson. And even Schultz, because of all the cheap options, which there's a ton of cheap guys. And we all know one of these random dudes is catching a bomb. Like Tony talked about Chark. And they just have more, in my opinion, they just have more upside. Like if Chark scored 20 tomorrow, I don't think anyone would be like, what the hell happened? Like, how did Chark score 20? Like he caught 2 touchdowns or he had like 100 and a touchdown, like whatever it was. That's definitely could happen. I'd be stunned if like 2 of these tight ends got 20, honestly. I'd be stunned if like one of them had like 100 yards or 100 and a touchdown. Like,
no, their paths are definitely 2 touchdowns.
That's what I mean. So you need a way more to happen where like one of these receivers, they house one, they catch a few more balls, boom, they got 80 and a touchdown or whatever it is, and they're outdoing that tight end.
Never good to catch balls.
No, you don't like to catch balls?
I'm out on that.
You're out on catching balls?
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't want to show the whiteboard. He was thinking about getting in on it, but he can't show that off because the people will find
truth
out,
comes out. I like it.
One thing I will say, just a quick note, I looked at it here, so it makes sense to me, is like Dawson Knox and Schultz, the only reason you're doing it is to get Josh Allen and everybody. And so if you're saying Schultz becomes Lamb in those builds, and now you load up wide receiver, you can pretty much get all the plays you want down the board, even a good defense, all that. So again, it's thin maybe, but I get how people are getting there and why they're getting there. You need the Buffalo-Detroit game to essentially go off in that example and have Allen get all of his guys there. So makes it pretty thin from that perspective, but it is Josh Allen. It is a 32-point total for their team. It is inside a place they just played. I don't know. It could happen. So don't love it myself, but I could understand why people are bringing it up and asking about it. Cager was the only one that you guys said that I was kind of a little bit interested in besides the chalk guys, just because maybe even if he does pick up a little steam, it's $2,700. Like it could definitely happen depending on how the injuries shake out and stuff too. And then picking between Henry and Jonnu, I'll probably do it. That's probably my pool, is those 6 guys, very heavy to the top 3, boring, like Big T said, but then mixing those bottom 3, at most 1, obviously Henry or Smith, you're on DraftKings not playing 2 in the, with 1 in the flex or anything, obvious, but Cager, then probably one of the New England guys at the bottom. So yeah, not much I got going on otherwise at tight end, pairing your guys with your quarterback for the most part. But if you want to go off the board away from Josh Allen, I could see going like Singletary, Knox, and then a Detroit guy and just saying, I'm going to pick up the pieces in that game. Maybe it's a short touchdown to Knox with some catches. Singletary gets a couple on the ground. Those kill Josh Allen. I've got my PPR on the other side with Raymond or with St. Brown or whoever you choose to use, and then stack up another game. I think that's an interesting way to look at it as well. That's really all I got to add there. JSU, anything else on tight end before we go to, we'll talk defense quick just because, and then wrap up our final thoughts. But anything else you got there?
Snap counts on these Detroit guys, just so I know for fans.
74% for Brock Wright, 22% for James Mitchell. And then I don't even know.
This Zylstra or Zylstra?
He got
Shane
12. He got 12 snaps, so 17%.
Is he the brother of that 4'8" receiver?
I think so.
Brandon.
Is he really?
I think they're brothers. Yeah, there's probably not too many Zylsters.
They have to be brothers. They have to be.
How's the one 4'8" and the other's a tight end?
I don't know.
I don't think he's like a big dude though, is he?
The other guy ain't 4'8" either. That's why.
He's very short. He's like JSU size.
Oh, I'm wrong. Shane's 6'4", 239. I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's a tank.
That's a big
How
boy.
big's his brother? They can't be brothers then.
They can't be brothers. He is 6'2", man. What are you talking
The
about?
other guy's 6'2". Maybe it's just
Brandon.
that he's a whitey that it makes him look smaller.
God.
You always hate on the whiteys. You're just always hating on the whiteys.
Big T is telling us to get all in on Tom Kennedy.
Looks like Justin Jefferson if he's a black fella, and he looks like he looks JSU sized if he's a white fella.
Oh my! I don't know. I don't think I'm messing around with these Detroit guys anyways. I'm not too worried about what the Zylstras are up to. But JSU, anything else you got to add here? If not, we can just talk about defense for a little bit to wrap it up.
No, I mean, I agree with Tony that it might just be a position you want to accept some of this chalk tight end and just take, one of these guys getting you double digits and kind of move on. I probably think Schultz probably the best at 3,800. I think he's been pretty consistent, but Hawk, Knox, one of these guys. Probably really good plays.
Got me dying. I gotta stop. Hank Marduka said different dads. One was a college hoops player. The other dad was a mailman. And that's like the old joke. The mom's cheating on him with the mailman. So, I love that shit. That was a good one. And shout out to Jeff Herda too, by the way. Congrats on the golf match, JSU. Mangone got nothing. It's from a while back, but definitely a good thing.
Jeff knows. I put in the work. I'll say it right now. I put in the work. Tony knows. I haven't been playing golf for a few months. And
JSU shot 115, Mangone shot 119.
The shot to his head is completely off the screen because he's out to the left.
I will say, framing me up,
coming like this.
Framing me up one shot. This man is just dazed all over the place. Yeah.
No, I'll say it to Simon and Helmet's credit. They try. They do try hard to frame me up, but it's
all the way off still. I'm dying.
It's impossible.
Tambo's a professional. Tambo's always stays dead square. Mine moves a little bit, and JSU's is always half in the
move at all. No, I look at Tambo every single time he does it. His head moves down only when he laughs. Everything else is perfect. Nothing else moves. Just his head down when he laughs.
Just the setup.
That's it.
Yeah, just the setup. I'm used to looking at the mirror all day, coming up with my ideas. So it's just like I pretend the mirror is right there and I just talk into it.
You would have something like that where you keep your shoulders square, pretend there's something that you're just lined up to perfectly. Tony, couldn't you see him doing this?
I guarantee he does.
100%.
I can see him just sitting in that bathroom out of the shower, just naked, just looking in the screen. Like the old dude in the gym that just drops him on that's Tambo looking in the mirror in his bathroom.
Oh God!
All right,
get off it. Talk to me about defense, JSU. We got to get back to. We got to get out of here too. So let's talk about some defense so we can roll through it here.
So the Cowboys defense is definitely it's got to be the most popular D. I would assume it ends up being the most popular D, which I have no issues with. But I think the Bills D in certain builds where you're onslaughting and you're just playing all of Buffalo and very little or none of Detroit. I think makes a lot of sense as a pivot off the Cowboys. I think a lot of people that get up into that range, they don't want to mess with the one game that like we're all kind of hoping is the shootout game. So they're going to get 300 more to go to the Cowboys. So in my mind, I think the Bills probably end up coming in a little lower. And just for that, I think in tournaments, they make some sense in my tournament lineup. So I like them because I think Vikings, Patriots are the other teams. Like if people don't get to the Cowboys, they're going to go to the Vikings, Patriots thinking this could be a slow, sluggish game. You know, Patriots defense been good. I'll just take a shot with one of these two. And, you know, the Patriots offense isn't great either. And I'm getting leverage on Stevenson, who's going to be one of the highest owned running backs. So I think people will look at it that way, where it's like, it's those two and the Cowboys, and all these defenses in the middle or below are going to get kind of overlooked, in my opinion. So I like the Bills a lot. If I had to pick, I'm not going to play the Lions. Probably they're for sure out. I guess like I could take a shot on the Giants and hope that's a sluggish game too. If I'm not playing Dak, take some shots at 2,400. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be higher on like the Bills and the Cowboys for sure. Spending up.
Big T, what do you got here?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to sound like a cop out, but defense, I'm just going to put in last and kind of see what fits. And I mean, naturally, Dallas is obviously, if I could pick any defense, not talking whatever, I would pick Dallas just because everything we've already discussed, the O-line for the Giants. I don't think you need it though. I mean, look at DK, you can play the Lions D even 2,100. I can't think of a better way to start that slate tomorrow with the chalk than Josh Allen fumbling or throwing a pick six. The Lions go up 7. You get that defensive score minted in, and you play a perfect script coming from behind with Josh Allen. And a lot of times what happens on these Thanksgiving slates is none of the defenses crush. You got like a 6, a 4, a 3, a 7. And it's happened a ton on these slates. And if you save salary and get a 3, it could actually outscore. It could outscore a 6 or 7 in a different spot. So I have no problem using any defense on the slate. Just talking my favorites, just in case what I would do on DK. My favorites, obviously the Cowboys, but I think my least favorite actually could be a shocking one. I think the Patriots are my least favorite of all of them. And I think they'll get maybe the highest ownership of anybody because they're 3K. So I don't really like the Patriots as much as other people. I think the Vikings are going to bounce back and play good after that blowout. So I'm not as high on them. I truly don't mind. If you gave me a perfect team, though, and all I had to do was play the Lions, I'm fine with it. I'll punt D. Even if they got 0, I'm okay with it, I think. So I'm okay there. And then on FanDuel, like you got Dallas 5K and the Lions 3,200. I mean, it's an 1,800 difference for defense where, yeah, Dallas definitely has a higher floor. They're going to get sacks and stuff. But if they only get like 8 points or something, what happens when Detroit gets a fluke touchdown? You're just going to lap the field and save salary. So I know it's a cop-out, but I truly don't care about defense. Whatever fits, fits.
It's not really a cop-out, though, when you made the case for Detroit and Detroit against Allen. I mean, that's definitely not something many are going to do.
No one's going to do it, too, is the topper, yeah.
We talked about it at the top where you can play guys against your defense, but that's the key. It's still not as many will do it with the quarterback. They'll play New England defense, but still have Hawkinson, or New England defense, but still have Jefferson to get the PPR points, things like that, where that makes sense too. But to do it this way, and not, like you said, the best case scenario, they get that right off the hop. Josh Allen comes back, scores a touchdown with our guy, Gabe Davis. And then all of a sudden, bang, there's that Khalif Raymond bomb right after that. And the whole game is set up just to go off. We got 14-7. Buffalo coming down from behind. It'd be a good setup for a nice little back and forth.
Dwayne dude in the chat's definitely going to ship like the quarter arcade tomorrow with all his plays. I mean, this dude has all the sharp plays. One has Parsons, one doesn't. Oh, no, we didn't know that. Thanks, Dwayne. Thanks for the update.
Dwayne is definitely a Cowboys fan too. I would guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got all the winners. Good luck in the quarters tomorrow, Dwayne.
The quarters. Big T's so mad at him. Just can't. He right away slams him down to the corner arcade. Just can't even give him that, $5 entry.
You think he's in the 5?
Yeah, I think he's in the 5. Got to give him some credit.
You're nicer though. JSU, where you got him? Which one you think he's in?
I think he's in the Millie Maker. $20.
20?
20.
No way.
He's one entry.
Dwayne, put it out there. What are you playing? Let us know. I think you're in the Millie.
Yeah, if you're not in it, put it in there and dunk on Big T.
He's a Cowboys fan.
He's
confident in his boys. He's going to be in the $20. He's going to be in the Millie Maker. He's going to have Cowboys onslaught.
Big T had too many drinks. He's buy-in shaming now on the people, the good people coming here to watch him. Like, come on, Big T. Get back to that whiteboard. Get back to that whiteboard. All right.
Don't be shaming my guy Brad in chat, Big T. My guy Brad who had my back. He's playing the quarters tomorrow. Don't you be shaming him. I won't allow it on this show.
I didn't shame Brad. Brad's a nice guy.
All right.
Good man.
All right. Final thoughts. JSU, what do you got? Final thoughts for the slate before we get out of here, man.
Final thoughts. I just one thing I will just say is when you're trying to think of ideas for your builds and your tournament builds, like double tight ends, stuff like that, where you're not going to get different enough. Don't do that stuff. Everyone's going to full stack the first game. Find ways where you can actually have a chance. If this little thing happens, which is maybe a high shot to get there, if it happens, you have a very easy path to the top because less people have it. That has got to be your goal. So when you're building your one team or your 3 teams, which I'm sure most people are doing, that's how you got to try and build it. You got to try and build it thinking about a way where you have way more paths if something that it has a low probability of getting there does get there, because then you beat out all these other people. So that's the way you got to think about building these teams and have fun with it. Take your chances if you got 1 build or 3 builds. Just don't play the obvious plays. Don't play what chat was saying where you're just playing all the dead obvious, chalk plays.
But Dallas D's got Micah Parsons.
JSU is going to be on them. He loves Mika.
I love him too. He's the man, but it's hilarious. The whole point of saying one has Mika, one doesn't is hilarious. They're not at the same price. It has no.
Oh, Hank, you're going to get me in trouble. Don't be saying that stuff in chat. Come on.
I agree, Hank.
I like Hank's style.
Every time JSU drinks, we ship. And just like when he was here, he drank, he shipped. It's what happens.
Yeah, there you go.
When Tambo was here, he drank. He wasn't drinking water like he is tonight. He shipped.
That's right.
I have a question, Tony. That Millie show, were we all drinking?
No, you weren't drinking that time. But you said if we shipped 1 million, you'd drink, and then you came back and drank the next one.
So we're on point because there was 3 people for that show.
Yeah, you always got to have 2.
And one of them had water. So I think we're on point with this one. I think we're going to be good. One of us is trifecta.
You got to always have above the 50% number.
Yeah, we got 66.66. So we're good. JSU, what's your conviction play for the slate? We need the Stafford of this year that could turn out to be better. You got to renew it. So who is your guy that you're gonna roll out and
renew it?
Could I say Gabe Davis and Josh Allen? Could I just say that? I mean,
and Dallas D. Go with Dallas D too.
That's it. That's my team. Gabe Davis, Josh Allen, Dallas defense. Ride it to the winner. Maybe add Tony Pollard on top of it for the correlation.
JSU just did that. That's my favorite thing these people do that make fun of stuff. They'll come on the shows and they'll literally go to each position like, man, love Josh Allen at quarterback. Running back, I like, hold on, let me see. Running back, I like Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary. Hold on, let me look at receiver. I like Steph Diggs, CD Lamb, Gabe Davis. Amon-Ra's a pretty good play this week. Tight end. Let me see. Who's at tight end? Oh, Dawson Knox, Dalton Schultz, Hawkinson. Man, I like all 3 of those guys. Then we come over to defense. Oh, man, Dallas, Micah Parsons. Love Dallas, D. But Tony, you're hilarious. You faded Thielen. He went off. How did you fade Thielen? I told you the Dallas D and Ramondre Stevenson was great plays. They were great plays, Tambo.
Tony just built the Billy Maker winner right
That
there.
was the Billy Maker winner. You know
that was probably the nuts cash lineup for tomorrow, though. I will say that you put all those together, you got a really good cash lineup, and it might actually fit.
I love when people take no stands though, and they say all the good plays, and then they make fun of me for saying to fade Thielen. It's my favorite.
The chat loves the voice that you're doing. What
Yeah,
voice?
I love the Big T impersonation. We don't get it very often. I'm a fan though.
Yeah.
But we don't know who it is. It's whoever it is on that whiteboard. That's what he's trying to figure out.
No, you know who it was? It was Dwayne.
Oh, it was Dwayne.
Yeah, it was Dwayne's voice.
That's what I was thinking about with you at the whiteboard, like the crime shows. You got like this competitor over here, this competitor. You got the board. You're all trying to figure it out, wire it out. True detective over there, Big T.
Tony, last time you showed something, we shipped a mill.
No, that wasn't the Millie. That was the one I shipped with Rory because he's back.
That's when you shipped with Rory.
He's been the best player since I went over to the board and said, "Can I play him? Can I play him?" I said, "Yep, I can play him." And then he shipped.
Do you have a jersey of anyone that's playing tomorrow that we can talk to real quick and see if he's in?
I got a Wancho jersey. Is he crushing?
Well, that game's over. We need something for tomorrow.
I think the slate's over.
Let's see. I got a Joe Montana poster. Is he on the slate?
Yeah, no, Joe Montana, not on the slate.
I got an Eddie Lampkin jersey. Can we get the too small?
Yeah, we'll get a too small tomorrow from somebody else. So that's good.
We got a belt.
Thank you, Travis, for apologizing on calling me out. I appreciate that. Oh, look at that belt. That's how we go. That's how we get off on this show, Tambo, with the man wearing the belt.
I will say one thing though. One thing about these Millie Maker slates, though, one of the things that's shipped, I'll leave people with this, will be my final thought. So many times, including Hoop on a main slate, but overstacking. Don't be afraid to overstack. And Buffalo's obvious. Obviously, you can overstack that, but don't be afraid to do weird stuff like overstack the Dallas game or something if you like that. So.
I like that advice. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure people are overstacking the first game. That's going to be probably the most important one. So I think that's what's going to happen, but I'm with you.
They still would like overstack it with chalk though. Like they won't overstack it with weird plays and stuff.
Is that belt heavy?
That belt's heavy, Brad. You know it.
I like it. If you want to get to the place that has the belt winners like Big T, get on over to runpuresports.com. Use the promo code Turkey50. We'll say it again on our way out. The code ends on Sunday. It's 50% off any monthly plan. So if you want SaberSim, now's the time. You can double down and get the deal on both. It's 50% off your first month. All sports, one price, includes the premium World Cup content, where we had our guy, Rubio 20 dimes, shipped today for $20K. So good day for him. Good day for the people over at Run Pure Sports. If you want to become one of them, now's the time to join. Win with us or watch us win, as we like to say. That's going to do it for this show. Tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Hold on, Tambo. Mangone said we're only in for an hour and a half. That's not true. We've been way longer.
What do you mean? We got on this show at like 8:03.
Come on, Mangone. We're almost 2 hours in.
Show off again for the worst reason. So
Mangone,
what?
You should know better than me and Tony.
For the worst reason. JSU, he just said for the worst reason.
Mangone was complete. He said the boys are an hour and a half in. This is the best content you can find. Like we're doing.
He cut us short though. It's like when someone congratulates Tambo when he wins 100K and says,
Tony,
Tambo won 80K this week. No, he didn't win 80K. He had a great week. He won 100K.
Mangone's behind. He said it earlier. He's behind.
I apologize then, Mangone. If that was the issue, then I apologize.
Yeah, he's behind. That's the issue for sure.
I apologize. So when you see this in 30 minutes, Mangone, I apologize.
We have caps. Mangone, are you kidding me? We at least an hour 40 with me and Tony on the show.
JSU finish his drink before Tambo does his third outro.
Are you kidding?
He crushed it.
I literally crushed it.
Squished it? I didn't see the squish.
Oh, come on. Now I'm mad I did it. You were supposed to see it.
I'll catch it on the replay with Mangone.
Yeah, the plays of the day are this. They're on runpuresports.com. Sign up now, Turkey50. The rest is free. We appreciate all of you. That's going to do it for this week. Tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern for Mangone, Hoop, and AP doing an up to lock show, basically, essentially, with all the extras for Big T, for JSU, for Simon behind the scenes. I'm Toe Tag and Tambo. Simon, get us out of here, man.